Let me show you the face of a winner, folks. This is, I know sometimes you feel like you're on the losing side of history, but not this guy. This guy, everything turned out the way it was supposed to be. A Republican that stiff-armed Trump won Virginia, and the New Jersey State Democratic by a little bit, which is proof positive that Trump was robbed. And by the way, notice this little ad right here, Tucker Carlson Originals. All 3 episodes available now on Fox Nation of his we're going to do the whole thing too. I just need time. I was going to do it this weekend, but I got to go to Tempe. So I'll do some of it tomorrow. We'll do like episode 1 tomorrow if we can. Laura Ingraham, she couldn't be happier. Look at this. Look at this, the definition of insanity. By the way, I love how Durbin and Biden are both smiling through it. But these are people who believe they just won. They're feeling like winners right now, and I need to check in with them. So do you. And Tucker says people are sick of hearing this. And I'm sure it means that because Virginia went the way it normally goes in an off-election year, that means it's a messaging issue. There you go. There you go. Oh, hold on. I muted it before because of the disgusting noise coming out of this guy's face. Yes, Greg Kelly is still miserable. We check in on him like the weather every so often. Don't.
Seems like the perfect moment to rethink what we thought we knew about American politics, the way the country runs, and the laundry list of lies that we have been force-fed for the past year.
Oh, so you're quitting. Gotcha. Very exciting.
Now is the moment, because clearly we're at an inflection point.
Clearly, because Virginia, that always flips against the administration, but except for once in the last 50 years, did that again. And New Jersey, which often does, didn't. It sounds like a mandate to me. By the way, didn't your candidate lose by 7 million votes like I said he would?
If you were to sum it up in a single phrase,
it would be, your name should start with an F.
We've had enough. There's a limit to which you can push the American population before they gently and politely push back through democratic means.
Yeah, that's not our concern. Gently and politely push back by democratic means. Oh, you mean by flipping the gubernatorial race in one state and not in another? Because none of us give a shit about that. It's the 1-6 bullshit you are ball cradling for that we worry about.
Exactly what we just saw. It is now impossible to deny that this country is in the middle of some kind of political realignment, and the people who run our country.
Yes, there is a political realignment going on. Republicans are trying to find a way to move forward without Trump. And the only guy who won did that. He absorbed the maggots, but did not do a rally with Trump. Trump did all of his stuff to the people who were already on the team. He did a robocall, which means they already have your number. He did a Jeanine Pirro interview where he sort of mentioned that he kind of supports him, but if he loses, I don't know.
Did not see it coming. There are a lot of examples here, the obvious ones and the not so obvious. To start with the latter. In Texas last night, Republicans just flipped an overwhelmingly Hispanic district, one that went for Joe Biden, by 14 points a year ago. 14 points.
14 points.
Of course, Hispanic districts go Democrat because Hispanics are Democrats, right?
No, you're the one who says that. You're the one that says that. Look at his face, too. Do you know how miserable he is that they now have to listen to what Hispanics want? This is the asshole who's telling you the entirety of Tucker's show is that Democrats are trying to let in South American immigrants, specifically South Americans, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Hondurans, because they are fundamentally changing the face of America and that they're guaranteed Democratic voters. That's his whole shtick. Am I wrong? Dude talks about it all the fucking time. Isn't that what Democrats are doing? We've got open borders. That's what the open borders are for. So we are just importing Mexicans to vote illegally and then turn into citizens, right? And now, look at this. And now he has to kind of deal with the fact that there are conservative Latinos who are voting conservative, which is not weird at all. Happens all the time. There's a huge pro-life swath of them. They're, the Catholic arm, of them is particularly conservative in that regard. Not a surprise at all, by the way. And counteracts the entire narrative that if Democrats are trying to import voters that will vote our way, the two groups that they're supposedly saying which is largely Catholic Hispanics and Muslims, right? That's who you want to bring in. It's a little hard to be woke with the most extreme versions of those folks. Just saying no group is homogenous, and yet he's been selling us that they are all the time. And now look at this. This is the face of a man who is afraid that his political fortunes and the political fortunes of his party rest on having to have Hispanics around them. Dear God. Look at the sadness. Look at the face. This is awesome.
Well, the Republican in that district, John Lujan, won, and he won by calling for the one thing you're not allowed to call for in an overwhelmingly Hispanic district, border security.
No, that's never been the case. It's actually fairly normal. The one thing you can't call for border security around, I guess, is nowhere. I think most people are actually for border security. Gee whiz, it's everyone. Oh, I know what you mean. That's what you mean, Tucker. You mean you can't use dog whistles that just generally paint people from South America and Mexico in particular as subhuman, essentially. You can't do that. You have to call for border security in kind of a normal, countries have borders. We need a structure to that kind of a way. No, tell me, he's an extremist. He's an extremist. Tell us how he's actually a full-on Trumper.
You said borders. Everybody understands that, no matter what color they are. It turns out. Meanwhile, in a place that looks very different from the southern parts of Texas, Minneapolis, really the cradle of anxious white liberalism, the place that defund the police first sounded like a good idea. In Minneapolis, voters
where, by the way, it didn't travel anywhere else.
Overwhelmingly reject.
Health doesn't recommend visiting Mexico. I do not currently. Largely because how the tax dollars there are going to the government and how the government is treating their indigenous people and the like. And it's one of those where the imbalance of the tourism industry versus how the locals are treated is pretty egregious.
Measure to defund their own police and get rid of their police department. Turns out we need police. Even in Minneapolis, that's dawned on them. And then in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, which, by the way, is how Biden got elected last year.
Truck driver who spent a total of $150 on his campaign is, as of right now, beating the longtime president of the New Jersey State Senate. And it's not mindlessly populist to suggest he'll probably be better, actually.
Yes, it is. Because you don't care. It's not mindlessly populist to suggest that a truck driver can't do the job. It's mindlessly populist to not give a shit and sell it as anything that shifts our way is got to be better.
Headline is the party that is calling for firing truck drivers is suddenly losing elections to truck drivers. And if that's not sweet, we don't know what the...
What party is calling for firing truck drivers? I'm sorry, I didn't get the liberal memo. Oh, you mean vaccinate? Who's? I'm sorry, I'm mildly lost in this. That I didn't. I feel bad that I just, it must be on the wrong email tree.
Meanwhile, the governor of that state, the self-appointed king of New Jersey, the finance goon Phil Murphy, was of course going to win his race by some...
Of course.
...margin. It's New Jersey. It's a machine state. Joe Biden won it by 16 points a year ago. But that's not what happened. Not even close. Instead, Phil Murphy apparently barely made it across the finish line. And that's
You seem happy.
been totally settled. But as of right now, Murphy's margin of victory is less than 1%.
Seriously, I have to be honest. I'm mildly surprised at how pissed Tucker is in this segment, considering what he's selling. You know what I mean? The argument of this is that, and that the statement from this, apparently, that Tucker, people are sick of hearing this, means he's going to probably pivot to this is his opening monologue, I guess. So it's going to pivot to the messaging mistakes of Democrats that scared off voters and kept him in office. Or I guess got Youngkin in office. But none of that is here. What you see is an avowed white supremacist, and I only say that because he fully knew that his head writer wrote under a pseudonym on white supremacist websites, wrote anti-Semitic garbage, misogynistic shit, and anti-black and anti-Mexican stuff, and they had to fire him when they found out. There's no fucking way, and this is somebody who's had a head writer on a show and worked very closely with them, there's no fucking way Tucker didn't know this and didn't pick him for the very reason and for the very opinions that guy put on those websites. This is a dude who's miserable right now, even though he wants to sell us that he won, that this is a win, that this is a repudiation of democratic ideals, that this is the end of the Biden administration. Does this look like a guy who's excited about the country turning a corner? For real?
Does he see that as an endorsement of his policies? Good
I don't know. Does he?
job, Phil Murphy. Winning by less than 1% in New Jersey? No, he probably does. That's how deluded these people are.
Is it? Because they used to have Chris Christie, who was a Trump suck-up as a governor, and now they have Phil Murphy. Seems to be a vacillating state. But I'm not going to argue with the fact that you seem to think, you seem to feel like a winner today. I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I do. It just dawned on me. He just saw the ratings on his insurrection thing, because that was supposed to be the thing that blew it up. That they would be the people the 1-6 people would watch it because they wanted to watch it, and everybody else would hate watch it, and that would drive the numbers up. And he was trolling everybody with that 3-part series, and nobody fucking watched it. That's what it is. He got word today because they ran it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Thursday night, they know. It's not like they have to wait for the Nielsen books. Although, interestingly enough, the same guy who owns Fox News owns the Nielsen company. He moved the Nielsen rating system, like the company that actually does it, moved it to Europe. So it's done from over there now. So it doesn't apply to American laws and that kind of stuff. And fascinating that when he did that, Fox immediately became the #1 news channel. That's interesting. Weird. Yeah, so look at this whole thing. Look how fucking miserable this dude is, and he wants to sell us that this is an inflection point. Democrats fucked up, Republicans are winning, and this is the time.
But here's the headline, as you're certainly aware by now, and it's the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's Glenn Youngkin, a man you had not heard of last year. 10 months ago, Glenn Youngkin's name recognition was 2%. If you didn't live next to Glenn Youngkin, you'd not.
Virginia Latinos reject radical Dem policies. Oh my God, guys, we are witnessing the nightmare that Tucker Carlson has been warning his friends about. The demographic shift of America is not just, hi, I love you. Hold on, my girl's got to go to work, so I'm going to give her a kiss if I have enough leash to do it. Love you. See you Monday. Love you. Have fun tonight. I insist. Huh? Oh, the Twitch thing is tonight. Cool. Tell them I said hi. Tell them to boost me or something. Twitch rivals. I don't have any rivals on Twitch. I'm a man alone. I'm an island. Love you. I'm wrapped up in my whole thing. I'm still in my gym clothes largely. So I'm wearing sweatpants. Yes, because I was at the gym earlier. Thanks for noticing, Pauline. Yeah, and because I had to come in and do Stuttering John's thing and pack and do laundry, I didn't want to put on another pair of jeans because I was going to wear one of my favorite pair of jeans this weekend. So yes, so this is the whole thing. Glenn Youngkin. This is a nightmare for Tucker Carlson. First of all, the browning of the Republican Party. This was not supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. I do not stink. I sweat, but it's a clean sweat. This was not supposed to happen. Tucker Carlson, when he signed on to Fox News was not supposed to have titles like that under his name. Virginia Latinos reject radical Dem policies. Dear God, the browning of the Republican Party. Next, he's going to have Andrew Yang on here in 2 days talking about how to, like we need our own island. Right? I think he deserves 5 eggs at this point. Although, there's still a long way to go. I'm just saying. But he might out of the gate. We'll reserve judgment. He's a little boring right now and a little afraid. He's only halfway through his opening remarks. But this is all about how Youngkin beat McAuliffe. And it's all about name recognition. This is a rising star. So think about this. Tucker Carlson is having to sell Fox viewers that this guy is a bellwether rising star in the Republican Party because Virginia Latinos turned his way when it came to issues of like school stuff, just like moms. And by the way, it wasn't. It was white, non-college educated women that were that put him over the top. But yes, I do sweat lavender, so just relax. All right, here we go.
Heard of him. He ran against the former governor of Virginia, who was governor.
Oh my goodness.
4 years ago, one of the most famous people in the Democratic Party for 30 years, Bill Clinton's best friend, Terry McAuliffe.
Yes, famous. He's got name recognition. Like Rudy Giuliani or O.J. Simpson or Jesse the Body Ventura or Ted Bundy.
And he spanked him.
Thank you, Carl.
How do you do that exactly?
And he what? What did he do?
Terry McAuliffe. And he spanked him.
Ooh! Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
I like wood, deeper and longer.
Again, he spanked him. Oh, you take it and you like it. I just did this. He didn't look happy about this. He spanked him apparently. And the rod or strap that he did it with was the Latino vote. I can't imagine why this is upsetting to Tucker Carlson. This has to fit completely in with his plans for the future of conservatism in America.
How do you do that exactly? Well, a lot of ways. We're going to talk about them tonight. But here. Interesting slice of the demographic pie. Fox News has found that Hispanics voted for Glenn Youngkin by a 9-point margin. Well, that's odd because the entire campaign against Glenn Youngkin was based on
against him. That's his full name. Glenn Youngkin. His full name is Aglenst. Everyone calls him Glenn, though.
He was a racist. It turns out normal people don't believe that, and they're sick of hearing it.
They believe he was a racist. I think the part of it was that they were aligning him with the Charlottesville Walkers, which is the guys with the tiki torches and all that kind of stuff. There's that would be largely anti-Semitism. There was a black fellow in the group with the rest of the dudes, and it was actually a girl as well. No, they don't think Glenn. They didn't sell him as a racist. They thought he appealed to racists, and he was probably a secret one because of the dog whistles he used around Trump and that kind of stuff. He's not. Believe me, Glenn Youngkin is going to be too busy being governor of Virginia to take your nightly spot. You are the safest racist on television, Tucker.
Her victory speech, the new lieutenant governor of Virginia, the woman who ran with Glenn Youngkin, her name is Winsome Sears, made this point.
Yes, I hope it didn't involve her pointing a rifle at someone.
This is the essential point.
By the way, what kind of a brooch is that? I'm just curious. I know it's like carnation. There's daisies for Sadie Hawkins, I think. What is an AR-15? Or is that yeah, that's an AR-15, right? Yeah. You can always spot, like, and if I'm wrong about this, beg your pardon, but it looks like an AR-15 with an extra long magazine, but it's basically a pistol with this extra barrel attachment on the top of it. That's why a lot of like gang members and militia people and psychopaths like that gun a lot, because you can kind of build it from parts.
And it's clear that most Americans...
It's great. I mean, if you want to walk around with a good kid killer, thank you, ma'am, for showing that off. And the good thing is that if it's dark and there's a lot of sand around, the gun will be completely hidden. Well, most of it.
Very clear tonight, agree with it. This is not a racist country. Stop telling us that it is. Stop lecturing us. Improve our lives. Here she is.
There are some who...
By the way, notice how Tucker's got a quote from this woman, video quote from her, and he has to say it first himself, instead of just playing the clip. Weird.
To divide us, and we must not let that happen. They would like us to believe we are back in 1963 when my father came. We can live where we want. We can eat where we want. We own the water fountains. We have had a black president elected not once but twice, and here I am, living proof.
Well, exactly. Nice.
Exactly. And now we know why he's miserable. Welcome to Tucker Carlson's hell. This is the Tucker Carlson that has to big tent the Republican Party and pretend he's not fucking miserable.
Put, nicely illustrated. Stop it, Democratic propaganda.
Stop it. Quit. This is not a racist country. It's just a racist show. Get it right. If it's a racist country, how is Tucker Carlson special?
Machine, NBC News, The Atlantic, the White House. Stop lying to us. Stop picking the scab. Stop trying to divide us by how we look.
Well, no one looks like you, Tucker. That is the one thing, honest to God. I mean, it's true. I don't know what you are. I don't know what's happening here. I'm fairly certain you're a store mannequin that came to life, or some sort of an alien wearing a skin.
That was the core message that voters in Virginia sent last night.
No, it wasn't. It was about the sexual assaults in the school board stuff and the CRT, and then they always flip against the administration because it's that way.
The question is, will Washington manage to decipher what they have said? And unfortunately, the odds of that are not great. Remember that on his final night of the...
Yeah, it's weird. Washington won't view the gubernatorial race of Virginia as reason to change federal policy across the whole United States. Next thing you know, we're not going to just let the DOJ be run by the AG from Texas. What are we thinking?
Bitterly fought campaign, Terry McAuliffe, who knows his way around politics, brought in someone called Randy Weingarten to speak on his behalf on stage. Yes.
And just for the record, Tucker will not let her replace him.
Weingarten, a repulsive teachers union hack from New York who has precisely no interest in or connection to the voters of Virginia.
So it was a campaign mistake. See, I thought it was because of the languaging of, like, you're going to put it on the infrastructure bill. Or the Biden administration, getting out of Afghanistan. That's probably what. Virginia voters wanted to stay in Afghanistan. That's what it was.
Message of that. The message is really clear. We don't care about you at all. You play no role in this. This is an inside game. And of course they mean it. They really...
Of course they mean it. He is miffed.
Feel that way. They think it's how they win, through coalitions. You're not part of it. You see this?
No, a coalition means everybody's part of it. That's literally
Everything they do. Here's a senile president and a VP no one likes. Deal with it, America.
We're dealing with it. We're dealing with it with a stock market that keeps hitting highs. While there's inflation all across the globe, it's lower here at home. Unlike China and Russia, we don't have fuel shortages heading into the winter. No one's panicking about that. We just cleared children to get vaccinated. My own son got vaccinated today. Very exciting. It was a good moment. A little nervy, I got to admit, but it was good. He gets his second dose in a couple of weeks. He's tough as nails. What else are we dealing with? Oh, we're no longer in Afghanistan. That's right. We're not in Afghanistan anymore. We were in Afghanistan all during the Trump administration when he ran on getting us out of Afghanistan. We're not in Afghanistan anymore. And by the way, the soldiers that were trained by the military during the Trump years, 6 of them have been found dead, killed by the Taliban, fighting on behalf of ISIS-K. I'm sure Trump saw that coming because he knows more about the ISIS than the generals.
In the case of Virginia, just 6 weeks ago, a low IQ Washington Post columnist called Jennifer Rubin.
He's actually pissed. This is good. I thought he was going to be kind of smarmy. I'm curious to see if Laura Ingraham, if she's equally upset. Maybe it's the Jersey thing. Is it too close to home? Is a Democrat keeping the New Jersey? Is that freaking them the fuck out? He is particularly bitchy tonight. I'm shocked. It's the Mexicans, isn't it? It's the Latinos, the South Americans. It's the Brazilians, the Hondurans, the Guatemalans. Now he's got what? They might come up here and vote our way? Shit.
That an endorsement from some has-been functionary in Dan Quayle's office from the 1980s was going to make all the difference for Terry McAuliffe. Quote, "The Bill Kristol endorsement will be big," Rubin announced naturally on Twitter. "Trust me." It's hard to believe that's real, but it's entirely real. And
he's so angry. He and Bill used to be friends. They used to do Crossfire together. Oh, I know what it is. Nobody even wants Tucker's endorsement. That's the issue.
Exactly why they lost last night.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
That's it? That's the whole fucking thing? He seems like he's tired of winning, I think. I think that's what's happening.